It is the Riot Podcast. This is the Monday, March 20th edition. If you're listening actually on Monday, March 20th, it's also Match Monday in the Spring Fundraiser, so your donation should be doubled if you go to RadioU.com.
We've got a few days left of our RadioU Riot Spring Fundraiser, so as a Riot Podcast listener, consider checking out RadioU.com to maybe help support, and then our podcast will return back to their normal extra long length once we're done with our fundraiser.
And can I say, Isaiah, you smell a little different today.
You think so?
Did you switch up your scent over the weekend?
I actually didn't put anything on today.
This is your scent, then.
My
natural
natural
smell?
essence.
That's not bad.
You think it smells good?
I guess it could be. Couldn't it be your clothes?
I guess it could be my clothes.
Did your mom get a new detergent or something?
I don't know.
Is that supposed to be an insult, like your mom doing your laundry?
I feel like
bad?
his mom does his laundry. Your mom do your laundry?
You think I drive 45 minutes to my mom do laundry?
No, I think
she drives 45 minutes to do your laundry.
If not, it also could be breakfast bake, so that could be
that too.
The smell that's wafting through the building.
But today on the show, we talked about some new movies that came out over the weekend,
Yeah.
including Shazam.
Yeah.
And maybe not the biggest box office opening for Shazam 2 that they thought they would
It
have.
feels like it fizzled a little bit.
So what's our next big movie?
John Wick.
Oh, yes. Okay.
That's this coming weekend.
Man, I can't see it this weekend. I'm traveling.
can't?
I'll be gone. After the fundraiser, I'm gone forever, and I can't go.
No, am I? It's going to be...
You're not leaving.
What are you talking about?
You're staying with Hudson.
What are you talking about? I'm going to Arizona next week.
No, you're not, are you?
No, I'm just joking.
I was like, wait a minute. You can't leave him.
No, that's funny. You got John Wick next weekend.
Okay.
And then...
Which the reviews on that, they say, are just fantastic. Of
They
course.
really are. And then Dungeons and Dragons is the following weekend.
Yeah.
Which, if the commercial is accurate, the reviews on that are really good as well.
It looks better than you would thought it would.
Yeah.
The trailer for that, I like that one.
Yeah.
I remember
The trailer
that.
for it looked good.
Everybody's like, oh, Chris Pine can do a movie like this. I guess we'll see. So we covered the box office from the weekend.
We also talked about a new lawn care service utilizing an animal.
And if we wanted to start a side business, maybe we could.
Yeah. I was just trying to picture myself doing it.
You want to be
know?
your own boss?
Yeah.
You want to be in charge
nice?
of 400 goats?
Yeah, to boss them around. They would listen about as much as you guys do, so it probably wouldn't be a whole lot different.
I think goats have a lot of attitude, so that would be a hard one to have so many of.
But maybe with them, I just figure like I'll just boss them around to do things they were going to do anyways. Like, hey, or eat that grass, and then they'd eat it, and that'd be my job.
Okay.
I think the worst part would be like having them at your home.
Yeah, but
Like
they'd
you
be
would
outside.
need like a barn.
Think about it. Your lawn would be pristine.
Your lawn would be, but then you'd have to pick up a bunch of goat poop.
Yeah, no. If you have like
might eat that too.
acres, you could just have it out there because then it like fertilizes it.
That's right.
I'm just
actually said-
imagining my backyard.
That's what I say about my dog's poop.
I know, but
Is it just fertilizes.
That was the second part to the article. They were saying how, then the goats just poop all over the place, and that's like a bonus
So they just
fertilizing.
leave it?
Yeah, you could just
So
leave it there.
That is,
That's
now
nice.
I'm even more interested in the idea.
I mean, it's perfectly lazy. It seems wonderful.
I know, man.
You just drop them off and let them go.
Yeah.
We're in the
just let 'em
wrong
go.
business. You
And
get
you
some
just hope
fresh
that they
air.
don't run away.
Why would they run away? They got all the grass they need right in front of them.
I don't know. Jim Les has a fantastic house, and he ran away yesterday.
No, he did.
He escaped
You
the
didn't tell us
backyard.
that.
Yeah, he escaped yesterday in his little. It's all fenced in, but somehow he knows his way out of it.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
And when I got out of the shower and looked outside, I was like, "Where's he?
Where's that little
I
doggy
started
at?
wandering around, and I was like, he just escaped. And so then I had to run around trying to find him. And I did. He didn't go very far. He made it about 15 feet, but he also just didn't really realize that he had escaped and was kind of just walking and sniffing.
Aw.
Thankfully, he's not much of a runner, more of just I want to sniff everything. So
Well, thank goodness he's got short legs, so he can't go
Yes,
far.
He did not go far. It was perfect.
Well, enjoy the podcast today. Hop over to RadioU.com. Consider donating and supporting. And then if you do, put in the comment section that you're a podcast listener so we can thank you.
And we will catch you next time.
Have a good day.
See you guys.
Add a little Riot to your Instagram feed. Follow @RadioU Official. The Riot. Radio U.
It's time for the box office breakdown.
Uh-oh. How did Shazam do?
Shazam.
Good morning, Isaiah, by the way.
Hi there.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us. We
Did your brother see Isaiah? Did your brother see Shazam?
I don't know if he did or not.
Okay.
Not sure. Maybe.
based off of the numbers, it sounds like he probably didn't. Because Shazam, Fury of the Gods, the sequel to the first Shazam, which is pretty solid, it was number one at the box office, but in North America, it only made about $30 million.
Is that really low?
That sounds real low.
I mean, I thought it would maybe cross over the 100 million mark, but they said it kind of doubled that amount internationally. So what was it, like 65?
So 60?
Yeah, 60 or 65 million total worldwide.
But when you consider, like, you compare that to Scream was number one last weekend, the new Scream, and that made like double what this one did. That made about 60 million. So Shazam making half as much as Scream in its first weekend, that's not a great sign. So you didn't see it, your brother didn't see it, nobody you know saw it.
Nobody.
That's a problem.
Shocker. Are we surprised by that? Is anyone surprised by that?
No. I think going into it, it wasn't the worst reviews for it, but I guess it's maybe not considered in the superhero sort of world, like the blockbuster sort of style.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I was surprised.
I feel like the first one made a lot more than 30 million, though, in its first weekend. So that's not great. Now, Scream still did all right. Scream 6, it still pulled in another $17.5 million. So it's now made $76 million in the U.S. And then you have Creed 3, another $15 million. 65, that's the Adam Driver dinosaur movie, which
that kind of fizzled too. That didn't do anything.
Dropped right off. I still want to go see that, but that's $5.8 million, and then Ant-Man was number 5. So okay, that's what was in the theaters this weekend. What did we all watch?
I watched Shadow and Bone.
What's that?
That's the Netflix series. It was the second season.
Is it about a bone or a shadow?
A shadow.
A shadow, yes.
Oh, okay. So good, though? Or?
Yeah, I mean, I liked the first season. There's some things. It's not perfect, but the second season, I'm not through it yet, but I started that.
You heard of this thing?
I've never heard of this thing ever. Shadow and Bone?
Yeah.
No.
You
This is
never read the
crazy.
books?
Usually I'm the one that has watched stuff that nobody's heard. I mean, I'm sure maybe Shadow and Bone's really popular. I have no idea what it is.
Okay, well, it's obviously not pushing at you.
I'm glad that you just went ahead and actually watched something this weekend and brought something to the table.
I'm sure everybody else just watched basketball.
I did watch a lot of basketball. Did you get anything else in? Just basketball? Mm-hmm. Well, which game was your favorite?
Probably Kansas State versus Kentucky.
That was a great game.
It was a good game.
Yeah, I was locked in on that one.
They pulled in also $30 million.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, the Fairleigh Dickinson game was real good, too. The upset over Purdue. How could anybody forget about that? So that was it was a good weekend.
It was.
For watching stuff.
I thought so. If anybody else caught anything that's worthwhile, but it was a surprise for Shazam. That was not the strong opening I think they were expecting.
Yeah, pretty paltry.
The Riot with Hudson and Nikki on RadioU.
How would you guys like to take a little trip to the land of my forefathers? Let's go to the Great White North, Canada, where we have a story of, see what you think of this. We have a neighborhood in British Columbia, which is the western part of Canada, where they are getting what they say are thousands upon thousands of Uber Eats orders delivered to this one particular neighborhood. Mm-hmm. The orders are not placed by the residents of this area.
So they're saying they're unsolicited.
Unsolicited orders. People, you can see people are putting up signs, stop delivering Uber Eats here. We didn't order it. People are complaining to the police and whatever. But it's not a type of thing where it's unpaid, like you would if you were to pull that old classic prank of calling in a pizza order to somebody. And then, the delivery driver shows up at their door and then they're like, but I didn't order this. And then they have to pay or whatever.
Yeah.
These are paid for. Somebody's paying for all of these hundreds of Uber Eats orders that they're not eating and delivering them to supposedly strangers.
Now, I know you're like, well, this is the best ever. I want to go there, right?
Yeah.
Because you could have all this free food, but it's not like complete items. You'll get like a drink or like a McDonald's donut or I don't know why, but they're really seeming to promote a cup of gravy. It feels very Canada for it, for poutine. But they're saying they're not like full food orders. So that's why they're upset about it.
It can be a big range, but I mean, I don't know about you guys, but would you complain about this?
Well, I mean, not if it's, I mean, you could get it, but like it's one donut in a bag. It's not like you're scoring a whole meal, but I guess it is
if
something.
Hundreds of orders, though, eventually you just save them all. Eventually you'll have a full meal.
Now, what if, though, you live in this neighborhood and so like, let's pretend, Isaiah and Hudson, you guys ordered something.
Yeah.
And you're wanting to have it delivered, but you live in this neighborhood where it's all these fake orders. So I think that's why no one's taking a lot of the stuff, because what if you're actually taking someone's real order?
Makes sense.
Does it? I don't know.
They wouldn't know, like, hey, this Hudson order's real, and you're going downstairs to get your actual order.
Yeah.
But if everybody just starts taking all these free ones that are up for grabs, yours will just be taken.
So you're just thinking there could be some people that now this news story's out there. They're just going to be perusing the neighborhood, just assuming that every order
You're taking
is just
them.
up for
Just
grabs
grabbing
because
them.
of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see how that could be an issue. I was going to see if somebody could come up with a way where I could get to complaining about this, where this would be a problem. Because these people you watch the news report, they're legitimately upset, right?
Yeah, they're mad. It's like littering.
They're calling the police
Yeah.
and putting up signs and stuff. I would never do that.
There's no names on the orders, no specific units or addresses. So it's just basically a generic address for like a townhouse complex, and that's it.
Well, I wonder how many times they're coming like a day. Like if you're getting multiple knocks on your door a day and getting like one little thing delivered, then that could be annoying. Some people just don't like it when people knock on their door.
Well, they're not
and they get
knocking,
annoyed by
just,
that.
They're just leaving it like in the lobby.
Because if they knocked, then you'd go, well, this isn't mine. And then
Yeah.
they'd probably go away. Because it's already paid for, so what do they care?
These just go in like the community lobby area.
It says, I do have here, this is according to Jeff from the neighborhood. He says, there was a lineup down the street in front of our house of delivery drivers. They were all laughing to each other, and one driver said there were thousands of orders that spiked over the recent weeks in the neighborhood.
I know what it is. Do you
What
want
do
to
you
know what
think
it
it
is? All right, so this is New
got an answer?
Westminster, Victoria Hill area.
Yeah.
Old Westminster's playing a big prank.
That old rivalry.
Oh, their old one is mad at new, and so someone there is just having a really good time.
We'll get those newies. We'll show them.
They have an unlimited budget.
We'll give them gravy. They won't know what to do with it.
Well, if you want to try here at Radio U, we'll see how this prank goes.
Yeah.
You won't hear a show like this anywhere else. And that's probably for the best. The worst of the riot. Radio U.
I've got a side hustle option for you here. Although this might be a lot of work if it gets big, so it might be your main hustle. But what do you guys think about using goats as like basically like lawn care?
They're supposed to be fantastic at it.
Yeah.
But then you have to own goats.
But don't you think it'd be easy?
Have we?
No.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
It's not as
I
easy
can
as
barely
you
even
think.
handle a dog.
Yeah, but
Let alone a pack of goats.
Like 15 goats. Seems like a lot of work, a lot of food.
You could use your dog to herd the goats.
Yeah, but I feel like even just the food alone that I had to pay for to feed them would outweigh.
But see, that's the thing. Let me tell you about a guy they call Uncle Mark on the Big Island in Hawaii. Which one is the Big Island? Anybody know?
Hawaii.
Honolulu?
The big one.
The biggest one. Which one is it?
I'll look it up while we.
Honolulu.
It's not an island.
What's the biggest island in Hawaii?
But he is. His name is Mark Crivello.
The island of Hawaii is the biggest island in
look
Hawaii.
at that. Look, I didn't know there was
Hey.
one called Hawaii. That's pretty confusing.
Well, it's all Hawaii.
The
but
biggest
like also
state in
Hawaii.
America is America. Okay.
Maui is the second largest.
Got it. All right. So for Mark Crivello, Uncle Mark, he owns a business where it's called 3C Goat Grazing. He's got about 400 goats, and he has contracts with different properties around the Big Island, around Hawaii, where he will take his goats and they will basically keep the grass maintained, all the vegetation maintained, just purely by
Eating it?
hauling the goats over there, letting the goats roam around and eat and whatnot, and then rounding them back up and taking them somewhere else.
Now, I assume your place doesn't use all 400. So, like, he's doing multiple properties. Can you imagine do you think he names each one?
No.
At 400, you could still know their names. That's a lot to remember.
I think
but-
he probably knows them all.
Okay.
I
Each and
doubt it.
every one.
You don't think so?
He's got for example, in downtown Kona, he has a $15,000 contract with the county to clear about 20 acres of land.
It's a pretty good amount of money.
That sounds like a good deal, doesn't it? And you don't have to feed the goats because the goats are eating all this stuff. And so if the goats ever get hungry, it's just like, all right, round them up. Let's go clear out Kona, And so all you have to do is clean up after them, right?
So are you wanting to start a lawn care goat side hustle?
You guys want to get into it with me?
I'll buy one goat.
One goat?
I can't even do one.
You don't even
You
do
can't?
one?
No.
I think we could, if
Why
we
don't you
work
do
together.
scheduling?
See, I could schedule that, but I'm not dealing with the goats.
Well, you got a truck. We could use your truck.
I'm not putting goats in my truck.
No, not inside it, just in the bed.
I'm not going there either.
Why not?
But to be covered in poop. I don't think you realize how gross goats are.
And then you just hose it
Have you
off.
ever seen a goat in person?
Yeah, I know they have scary eyes.
They're real kind of gross animal. And so for me, yeah, I don't really want to be
You
near
have
them.
Jim the Basset Hound. What are you talking about?
He's just
Gross
sweet.
animals.
And I don't want to be
He's
the
cleaner
one
than the goat.
that, you get pulled over because you have like 20 goats trying to fit in the back of the bed truck of
Yeah.
the...
Too many.
It's too many, and you got to tie them down.
But then you just make a deal with the officer. You say, hey, I'll cut you a deal. These guys, they'll mow your lawn free of charge.
No, this isn't. I'll do this in Hawaii, but I don't want to do this
You don't
here.
think this work on the mainland?
I don't think this will work here.
I think there's a big opportunity here just waiting to be taken. If you have a lawn care company, you have to pay for all those mowers and all that gas and all like employees to drive the mowers. This is much more efficient.
And it's hard to find people,
That's
if you're
right.
looking to hire somebody, you're not going to get a goat that quits unless it dies. So
The goats are happy.
they're happy to work.
They're happy to be paid in grass.
All right. Well, I don't know. HNI, is it Hudson and Nikki Isaiah Lawn Care?
That sounds good. Unless you want to call it RIOT Lawn Care.
Oh, that could also
Unless
work.
that is a RadioU trademark that we can't use.
Maybe
I don't
they'll
know.
let us use
They
it.
might. Another branch of RadioU.
We're not sure who behaves worse, the Riot or their dogs.
I don't even know how to behave like a real human being.
The Riot, RadioU.
People get intimidated going to the gym. Can anyone confirm?
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah, it could be a lot.
All right. I've got gym experts here, Nikki and Isaiah, and I mean Jim like going to the gym, not Jim the dog, although you're also an expert on that. But I want to hear from you guys what you think of these tips from other experts for not being intimidated when you go to the gym. Want to see what you think of these. First
Even
of
though,
all,
Isaiah, I don't think you're intimidated, are you? Are you comfortable?
used to it now.
You're used to it?
but there was a point in time, right?
Yes, I think so.
But for people, I mean, that's probably the top tip is just keep going. And eventually,
You'll eventually get comfortable.
Yeah, eventually. But if it's
Someone's still going, they're like, I'm not comfortable.
Yeah,
I haven't figured it out yet. How long do I have to be doing this for?
tip number one is remember that if you are new at the gym and you are feeling anxious or intimidated, that's normal.
That's good.
Don't build on your anxiety by being like, oh, this is like nobody else feels this way. It's normal to feel anxious when you start going to the gym. Number two, there's no such thing as a gym body.
Oh.
Yeah. Over 40% of people admit to feeling conscious about their fitness levels and appearance at the gym, but you need to remember that there's no such thing as like like your body. There's not you don't have to look a certain way to be able to go to the gym. Mm-hmm. Are we right on that?
Can we get some good tips?
Yeah.
These aren't helping anybody.
Yeah.
Well,
What do
you
you
gotta
mean?
have
These
some
are from
basic
experts.
tips. Basic
Yeah.
tips to help out for.
I think just hearing this stuff, when you get started, it's important to hear, right?
I think it depends on which gym you're going to and which
Yes.
section of the gym you go to. Because you can be more intimidated if you go to like the weight section
Okay.
where people are more possibly having more perfect bodies.
Oh, yeah. Well, the next tip is lifting weights isn't as bad as it seems.
That's
at
the more
first.
intimidating part.
That's where you get it.
Oh, yeah. You can go hide in the treadmill section and
no one will see you.
No one will see you. And
Yeah.
you're just there to watch a show.
But you can do a treadmill at home.
I know, but at least you're getting out.
You're
and
in the
trying.
gym
Yeah, I
now.
guess that's a start. That's
Yeah.
a start. But the weights, that's why I guess you can lift weights at home too. But there's a lot of equipment in the weight room that you wouldn't probably ordinarily be able to have at home very realistically.
That's the intimidating
But
side.
that is the intimidating side. But I think we always have to remember that most people aren't looking at you when you're over in the weight place either, right? Like they're not keeping as close an eye on you. They're probably thinking the same thing that you are of, I hope no one sees that I'm not lifting very much. What is going through your mind when you're in the weight room, Isaiah?
When I'm going to the weight room,
Yeah.
just getting in and out of there as quickly as I possibly can.
So you're not noticing everything else?
See, I think that the number one thing you need to know when you go to the gym is everyone is paying attention to you way less than you think. Like, if you think someone noticed something, they didn't notice it. If you think you look weird, no one's paying attention to you. Like, no one is looking at you at any point in time during the gym.
Let me ask you this before I get to the last tip, and that is, do you ever get concerned that someone will correct you on your form or something like that? As in, like, out of
like
serious
you were doing
concern?
it wrong?
Yeah, because if you're in the gym, right, and you're doing different weight stuff, some of it can be dangerous if you're doing it wrong. So do you get concerned, or do you welcome if somebody wants to come up to you and be like, hey, you don't want to do that with the whatever machine because you might hurt yourself? Do you think that, first of all, does that ever happen to you guys?
I don't think anyone would ever do that.
You don't think a random person would do that?
Never.
I don't know. I think
You
I've
see
heard
sometimes at
stories.
like gyms.
Yeah.
If you go to like, I think
really weightlifting.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, if you go to Planet Fitness,
They're not doing
no
that.
one's gonna do that. So I think that if you, because it's happened so much, especially on TikTok recently. Like if you're on like gym TikTok, so many people get like canceled at the gym for like looking at someone or saying something to where like I think now when people go to the gym, they are just so worried about getting in trouble or looking silly that they just like stay in their own lane, get their workout done, and just leave.
Ooh, that's a good. That's actually a good branch to take off of this tree. The not getting canceled at the gym. Mm-hmm. You got any tips for that?
Just
Stay in
go
your
there,
lane.
Stay in your lane.
That was it.
Don't look at
I
anybody.
think
Just go work out.
I think you could get in trouble even when you're not looking at people.
Nope.
How about here's the first thing that jumps to mind: wearing sunglasses.
In the gym?
Yeah.
If you wear just sunglasses in the gym, you should never return.
Then nobody can see where you're looking.
If
then
you
can't
walk
get
in the gym with
trouble.
sunglasses, you should never
They
return.
can say, "I know you were looking at me," and you can
You
say, "No,
should
you
feel
don't," because I'm wearing
self-conscious.
sunglasses.
If you
can't-
walk into the gym wearing sunglasses, you should feel self-conscious.
I feel like someone's going to have a talk with you if you are wearing them, even if you're not doing anything wrong.
You aren't doing anything wrong. You're just wearing sunglasses.
People are gonna
Is
text
there a
in
law
tomorrow
against that?
and be like, Hudson, I wore sunglasses at the gym, and 10 people approach me and ask what's wrong with me. That's what's going to happen.
And just explain. I don't want people to think I'm looking at them.
But if you want to feel self-conscious, wear those shades. Wear them in there. Do it.
The last tip is there's no
The
shame in
sunglasses
asking
thing
for help.
was not a tip.
It's not a tip.
It's a tip from me. There's no shame in asking for help is the final tip. Is if you don't want to hurt yourself or you don't know how to do something, feel free to ask somebody for help
while you're doing it.
That wouldn't be intimidating.
Yeah, that's not tough at all.
That'd be
is it?
super easy in the gym.
As a man, I love asking for help.
Yep.
It's one of my favorite things.
Hey,
Do it
no
all
one
the
likes
time.
asking for help, all right? No one.
Hey, they're already eating anyways. Might as well do it on the show. The Riot with Nikki and Hudson. Radio U.
4 presidents of the United States are going into outer space. And I'm not talking about the band from the 90s. I'm talking about actual U.S. presidents.
Are we talking like their ashes or their collectible, like a picture, or what do we mean?
We're talking DNA is what we're looking at. So ashes, maybe not, but I can't believe this. I guess it should be believable, but they say the DNA of George Washington. They still have the DNA of George Washington?
Well, I bet.
How do they do that?
I don't know.
What were they saving in George Washington times where they're like, let's keep this DNA?
But maybe
they didn't even know what it was.
Maybe they were always just like, hey, starting from now on for presidents, these are the things that they keep from him.
His wooden teeth, does that have his DNA on it?
Yeah, was that George Washington?
It was, but
Yeah.
I think that might have been like
That might have been all
things.
presidents back then.
Yeah, wooden teeth. That's just like when you think about that, that makes you get splinters and like you drink stuff and then like you think your teeth look bad now. Wait till you get wood stained with coffee and wine and whatever. Like that would look
Maybe
horrible.
that was affordable and like
That might
that's
have
just what
been-
you did.
I guess it's better than having no teeth at all, probably. At least you could chew. So, anyways, George Washington, Dwight D. Eisenhower, John F. Kennedy, and Ronald Reagan are going to be on board.
the DNA, because again,
Their
if you
DNA,
just tuned in, you're like, what are they talking about?
Yeah, this is their DNA. It's going to be on a spacecraft that's going into space because that's what spacecrafts are meant to do later this year. It's from a company called Celestis Inc. And they say this is going to be humanity's first deep space time capsule.
All right.
So they're sending this out. I don't know who's supposed to find it one day, but it's going to include, among other things, it is going to include DNA from 4 former U.S. presidents. Also, it looks like it'll also contain the cremated remains of more than 200 individuals.
So famous people?
So nobody wants to find this thing.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
You're like, what's all that?
Looks like Star Trek creator Gene Roddenberry's going to be in there.
Oh, gosh.
As well as other members of the Star Trek original series, including Nichelle Nichols, who just recently passed away. DeForest Kelly, okay, we don't need to list all the Star Trek
Some
people.
other former astronauts. Oh, they're like, in quotes, guest list. Oh, gosh. No, thank you. It's weird. I didn't know this until like a few flights ago when they were going to do a go out, circle, come back.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, what's the point of that? But they do a lot of these flights because they'll send things with it that then come back down to Earth.
Yeah.
And they say, oh, it's been to space, and then they can do things with it. I don't know. So it just seems like it's one of those flights. Or it stays out there and it never comes back.
I think it's supposed to stay out there and somebody's supposed to, it's a time cap. I guess maybe it will be orbiting the Earth. And then we would have the option if it's just orbiting of going out and getting it. But they did say deep space time capsule. It makes it sound to me like they're going to send it out somewhere.
It'll never come back.
And then the aliens can find it one day and clone our presidents.
You want to know how they have the DNA from the former presidents?
I would love to find out.
Hair samples. All former presidents have hair samples.
It makes sense, unless they're bald.
Yeah, they're. Oh my gosh, you're right.
That's a nice way around that one.
They say that there's a collection along with certifications of authenticity that were gifted to this mission by an anonymous donor so that they can be included in the space mission.
Now I need to know, has there ever been a bald president?
I don't know. That's on you to look up and tell us if there has been.
I'm checking right now. We haven't voted for a bald president since Dwight D. Eisenhower is one of them. So how does he have his hair sample?
I don't know.
It must be one of his other hairs.
It's going to space.
The words too expensive aren't in Nikki's vocabulary. This is the Riot. Radio U.
I've got what I think is a simple question, Nikki.
Yeah. Is it for me then? The question's for me.
It's for you, but I don't know why Isaiah's here actually, but I did invite him.
Probably because I'm the one who uses it the most.
You are? You okay, why don't you ask the question?
Is it okay to use the word ma'am?
Yeah.
Oh, like if someone says ma'am to you?
Yeah, can we call you ma'am?
It's not my favorite.
No?
It's not my favorite.
Yeah, I use ma'am all the time.
You do?
Mm-hmm. Like, yes, ma'am.
Yeah. And I'll be...
supposed to be a respectful thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but sometimes it feels like it depends on if you're at work and stuff. And it's not like I'll give you guys any other alternatives that I particularly care for.
Miss.
Besides the hey,
use that even more.
Miss is the only other one that because I'm reading this and it's, it's kind of a bunch of women, it looks like on Reddit, saying how they don't like being called ma'am. And so miss is like the alternative, but and I think from how I'm understanding it is miss feels like young. Yeah. And so then once you get called a ma'am, all of a sudden now you're an old woman.
This person said they felt their youthful privilege slipping away. That's a bit much on that.
Is that how you feel if somebody calls you ma'am?
I don't know. What did I get on Friday? Someone was like sweetie, and I thought,
well, you can't do that.
That one's a bit weirder too, but I mean, I'd even prefer that over ma'am. Probably.
You would take sweetie over ma'am?
Ma'am just feels more official, like... Ma'am, can I help you?
So then, so why is that a problem then?
Well, it just feels not we could do better than it. How about that?
You can do better.
We can do better.
With miss.
With miss.
Is that what we're supposed to do?
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Or sweetie.
Sweetie's fine.
What about sunshine? What are we saying on sunshine?
I actually think that's a great one.
That is a good one, isn't
It's fun. It's not doesn't take it too seriously, but it's not like it's.
I don't know.
That's
you
perfect.
feel like it sounds a little like sarcastic though?
No, I don't think so.
Like
sunshine?
Like, thanks, sunshine. Doesn't that feel a little bit
if you're saying it like that.
What do you mean? How would you say it?
I would say like, thanks, sunshine.
That's the same way I just said it.
No, you said it with a little more inflection.
His is different than how you're saying it.
You said it with kind of like a connotation.
Is it just the messenger? Is it just me?
It's
not how I'm saying it. It's just
I also think it does depend on who's saying what, because it depends on how you're delivering it to somebody and if they like it or not.
Like, what about, you said sweetie, what about sweetheart?
That's the same.
It's the same?
Yeah.
See, I
like using sweetheart too.
I would never say sweetheart.
Never?
No, that sounds so diminutive to me.
Really?
Yeah.
What are you using?
Diminutive /
You don't like sweetheart? You don't like sunshine?
No, I like sunshine.
You just said you didn't
No,
like
I didn't.
it.
I feel like it could be a little sarcastic.
Okay.
Like you're trying to get the person to cheer up. Like, it's like in a word, it's like, why don't you smile more often?
Pucker up, sunshine.
Yeah.
Now it is getting now.
But sweetheart sounds so like, it's almost like flirtatious in a way, but also talking down to somebody.
No.
Don't you think?
I think you can always be flirtatious.
And you can also always be talking down.
Yeah, that's right.
That is the
It's
problem.
one of my favorite things to do is talk down to
what
others.
do you guys prefer instead of like sir?
I know, because
or-
sir, I
else
understand the
do we
man
have?
thing, because sir also sounds like an old man, like it's too official. Too.
Mr.
I like Mr.
Oh my gosh, Mister.
Mister.
Gee, thanks, Mister.
Yeah, you're right. That does feel off
Yeah.
a bit.
The worst, I'll tell you the one you can't use.
Uh-huh.
The one you can't use is buddy.
Oh, yeah.
If you call me buddy, you
Yeah.
might as well, let's just face up right now. I guess we're going to have to fight. That's just how it's
I
going to
hate
go.
buddy.
If
I
you call
do
me
hate buddy. No.
unless you're my buddy. If you're my buddy, then that's okay. If
What
you're
about
my friend,
pal? Is pal okay?
pal's better than buddy.
Uh-huh.
As long as you're if you're my friend. But if you're not my friend, I don't really know you, I don't ever want you to call me buddy. Ever.
Buddy is the worst. There was a manager I had at Panera who called everybody buddy, as in like all of the workers.
Yeah.
And all of the customers,
Really?
Oh, no.
male and female alike.
Oh, that's not good.
Buddy's the worst.
That
But
is-
he didn't last long because he locked himself out of the store one morning, so he got fired.
He had some issues.
Yeah, he didn't do very well. The buddy thing wasn't even. It's crazy that wasn't even the worst thing about him. So
Well, they said that, for the longest time, miss, ma'am, buddy, all that has been around. You can't control how people see you, but you have the right to assert how you'd like to be seen and how'd you like to be called.
Yeah, so do we need to like in the service industry just totally wipe ma'am and sir out?
Yeah, let's take those out
And
and
just
let's
go with sunshine?
Sunshine is a great
Miss,
one.
I think Miss is good.
Sweetie
Sweetie,
You never go wrong with those.
and friend.
friend.
Yeah.
Hey, you.
How can I
Old
help
buddy,
you,
old
friend?
pal.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
The only thing Isaiah loves more than the riot is himself.
Someone who probably still lives with his mother and hates himself.
You're listening to The Riot on Radio U.
Getting a bunch of texts in after I asked a simple question: is it okay to call Nikki ma'am? From there, we've got all these different like shorthand terms. Like, I don't know what you would call them. Just ways to address people if you don't know their name or whatever in public settings. And so we've got to get a ruling on all of these.
Sure.
Todd.
Why is it your mom, Hudson? She's texted in, and Isaiah, your dad, is texted
Yeah.
in.
Wild.
Why?
It's really set them off, apparently.
I know. It's like you guys all need to be friends together. You
I
gotta
do
know
like
each other.
that Isaiah's dad texted in and said, how do we feel about deer?
Where do we sit on deer?
Sometimes I think deer's a weird one.
I do.
Yeah.
I
I
think,
think if you say
well.
it quick, like, thank you, dear.
Yeah.
Thanks,
then-
dear.
But if you like go in on it and you like really if you like linger there, it also depends who you're saying it to.
It feels like it would be weird for someone our age to say, like, for either you or I to say dear. It feels like that'd be weird.
But if
Wouldn't
you
it?
were
Deer, I
like-
think, comes across as older than ma'am sometimes, too. Like, it's weird.
I think if you were like 75 years old, you can get away with saying
Yeah.
anything.
there you go.
That's true.
So that would be the one you could say.
But now, what would be really weird if I said to you, "Thanks, dear"?
If you said it to me, that would be odd.
Insane.
That would be odd.
But my mom texted and she wants a ruling on hun. Is that okay?
Oh, like honey?
Yeah.
Hun also
I think
feels.
it depends.
If
on
you're a
who's using
southern,
it.
if you're a southern waitress at a diner, you can say hun.
Yeah, I feel like
other than-
hun is normally used by more women just talking to anybody, like through the drive-through.
We also had a employee at Panera. She was a younger gal, but she would call all the customers hun.
Yeah.
And so I think like some of the creepy men liked that, but some of the women did not appreciate.
See, I feel like hun has to be used from female to male. If you're like an older woman saying it to a younger man, I think that's where it would be. I could never say hun. I would never feel comfortable saying that.
That would be, yeah, that feels like a problematic.
Like if I came in here and I was talking to Nikki, I was like, "Oh, thanks, hon."
Yeah,
right away that'd be a no, right?
That doesn't feel good.
I think I'm leaving this conversation with I'm accepting sunshine though.
Yeah.
I do like sunshine.
Nikki's like, that's where I'm at.
Even if we're in a meeting, I don't care. I will take that one.
Best
that one's
case
fine.
scenario.
Can you imagine
All
a
right.
meeting and no one else? Like it's all other people from other places. They're like,
no
"Wow,
idea.
they
And you're
call
just
each other
calling everybody
sunshine."
Sunshine.
I think I like it.
Yeah, it's starting to catch on. I'm starting to feel good about it. Sunshine it is.
Yep, it's perfect.
You just heard the worst of the worst. We'd give you the best of the best, but we'd have to find that. As soon as we do, you'll be the first to know.